Hi everyone, welcome to Story Time. I've got one of my favourite books today. It's by the author Max, now how do you say this, Vulthuis? Let's go with that. And he's written a brilliant book. He's actually written quite a few books, so that's called a series of books about Frog. And this one is called Frog is a Hero. Now, a hero is somebody that does something that's really wonderful, that's really helpful, that sometimes saves people. So have a look at Frog. What do you think he might have done to save or to help people? What do you think one of the problems might be in this story? Good, there are grey clouds, aren't they? And you can see the grey clouds are sending down rain. What happens when it rains and rains and rains and rains and rains? Maybe there's going to be a flood. I wonder how Frog could help people in a flood. Oh, frogs can swim. Maybe he does something to help by using his skill, using his ability to be able to swim. Okay, are you ready? Should we read this story together? Frog is a hero. Oh, he's in the water. Maybe he is going to be swimming. Dark clouds were gathering in the sky. The sun disappeared behind the clouds. It started to rain, thought Frog happily. The first drops were already falling on his bare skin. Frog loved the rain. He danced for joy as the raindrops fell thick and fast. It's raining, my shorts are soaking wet. It's raining, he sang loudly. Do you think that Frog is enjoying the rain? Yeah, look at him. He's dancing, he's singing, he's smiling. He loves it. Do you like going out in the rain and getting wet? Yeah, I do. If I've got a coat to keep my clothes dry, then I like it. When I lived in Africa, that was fun because when it rained in Africa, as soon as the rain stopped, the sun came out and dried you up. So it didn't matter if you had a coat then. I did like the rain then. That was lovely. The sky got darker and darker. Now it was raining cats and dogs. This was a bit too much even for Frog. He ran home dripping wet. Raining cats? I can't see any cats and dogs. What does raining cats and dogs mean? Oh, it means it's raining really heavily. Oh, that's clever. That's just a fun way of saying it's raining really heavily. It's raining cats and dogs. You could say it's raining elephants and giraffes. If it was really, really, really heavy, what else could you say? Yeah, wow, that would be a terrible storm, wouldn't it? Frog made himself a nice hot cup of tea. The raindrops pattered against the window, but it was cosy inside. After 3 days, however, Frog began to feel restless. He wondered how Duck and Pig and Hare were. He hadn't seen them since the rain had started. On the 5th day, the river began to rise. It wasn't long before the water came streaming into Frog's house. At first, Frog thought it was funny. Can you see? Look, he could see a little fish swimming in his living room. But then he began to worry. He hurried over to Duck's house. It was flooded there as well. Where is all this water coming from? Asked Duck desperately. The river has burst its banks, shouted Frog. Let's go to Pig's house. Together they waded through the watery landscape. Wow, look at that. The water really has flooded. It's covered all the fields. And look, it's got inside Pig's house too. Pig was leaning out of his attic window. Oh, all my things are wet, he cried. Oh no, it's terrible. Look, the flood's come right up. He's had to go to his attic. That's a room in the roof in order to try and be safe away from the flood. Oh, and all his things are ruined. It was true. Tables and chairs were floating around the room. Everything was in a mess. They couldn't stay there. Let's go and see Hare, suggested Frog. Oh, look at that. Oh, it looks like Hare's house is flooded too. Oh, no, wait. Oh, there's a bit of ground sticking out of the water. What do you call that when you've got a piece of ground that's surrounded by water? That's right, an island. Hare's house was on an island in the middle of the water. Hare stood at the door and waved to them. Come inside, he shouted. It's lovely and dry in here. It was warm inside, and gratefully they dried themselves in front of the stove and told Hare how their houses had been flooded. You must all stay here, said Hare. There's plenty of room and I've got plenty of food. Ooh, that's lovely, isn't it? So they all sat down to a big pot of stew that Hare had made. They were very hungry and they ate everything up. Then they settled down to a cosy evening with the rain still pattering on the window panes. Can you make your fingers patter? Hear that noise all the time while they were inside, but it was nice and warm and cosy inside. They stayed as Hare's guests for days. They were happy together, while outside it rained and rained and rained. It's a lovely picture, isn't it? Look at that one with the crows flying in the rain, still raining. Oh look, where are we? If you look carefully, in the trees you can see, what are they? Nests, yeah, nests for the crows. Oh, I don't think I'd like to be in a bird's nest in the rain. They don't have a cover, do they? Then one day they found that they were down to their last loaf of bread. We have no more food left, declared Hare gravely. We're going to die! Oh, we must get help, said Duck. Oh, I think Duck's a little bit frightened. I don't want to die, said Frog. Ever? Oh no, they do look very sad, don't they? They've got a very grave look on their face. Can you look sad too? And Duck is very scared, isn't it? What did Duck say? We'll die if we don't get help. The next day, only the last crumb of bread were left. They were all terribly hungry, but nobody knew what to do. Outside it had stopped raining, but the water was still very high. Oh, can you see? Frog just doesn't know what to do. Do you think maybe he's thinking, though? Is he trying to find a solution to the problem? I wonder if he comes up with an idea. Let's keep reading. I know, shouted Frog suddenly. I'll swim across to those hills and fetch help. Hare looked concerned. No, the current is very strong and it's such a long way, he said. It's too dangerous. But I can manage it, cried Frog enthusiastically. I'm the best swimmer of us all. and they all knew that that was true. So he was thinking, did have a good idea. He knew he was good at swimming, and he thought, I can use my skill, my strength, to help everybody else. But the others are worried, aren't they? They're worried that, did you see that? It said the current is very strong. That means the pull underneath the water is very powerful, and it might pull on Frog and pull him under, and then he might drown if he goes underneath the water. But Frog was brave, and he was determined to do it. So he stepped bravely into the water. His friends watched nervously, and soon he disappeared into the distance. The water was ice cold, but Frog didn't think about it. He thought of Duck and Hare and Pig, who were hungry. Oh, he's determined, isn't he? The further Frog swam, the stronger the current became. Frog felt tired. The more he swam forward, the more the current pulled him back. He was hardly making any headway, and suddenly the current carried him away. Frog began to sink. I'm just a frog that can't swim anymore, thought Frog. I'll drown. I'm going to die, and I'll never see my friends again. Oh no, what a sad story. Just then, a familiar voice said, "Hello, what's have we here?" And two strong arms pulled Frog out of the water and into a boat. It was Rat. Frog told Rat all about the rain, the flood and the hunger, and how he had set out to get help. "Oh, don't worry," said Rat. "My boat is full of provisions for my travels. Ooh, there's plenty of food here for everyone." And they set sail for Hare's house, where the three friends were waiting for help to arrive. Look at that, look. Frog's exhausted, and he's resting in the front of the ship. Can you see that? Pig, Duck, and Hare cheered when they saw Frog returning in a boat. But who was that with him? Of course, it was their good friend Rat. They could hardly believe their eyes. And Rat had so much food on board: bread, honey, jam, peanut butter, vegetables, potatoes, and much more beside. "Rat, you have saved us," said Hare. "No," said Rat, "you have Frog to thank for that. It was Frog who swam through the treacherous flood, risking his life to reach me." They all looked at Frog. He was glowing with pride. It wasn't exactly true, but still. From then on, things got better. The friends celebrated their rescue, and Frog was the hero. The sun was shining again, and the water was beginning to go down. Can you see, look, Rat's put a stick in the water so he can see how high the water has come up. Before, it was up there, and then down there, and now it's down to here. So that's good. It's showing that the water is receding, is going down. After a couple of days, the water had gone. Frog, Duck, and Pig were able to return to their homes. What do you think they're going to find when they get to their homes? Yep. Everything was dirty and muddy. "No problem," said Rat. And with his help, they fixed things up just as they had been before. But things weren't quite the same as before, because none of them would ever forget the terrible flood. And none of them would ever forget how brave Frog had been, and how he was willing to risk his life to save his friends. What a hero! Should we give Frog a clap? Isn't that a great story? So if you like that story, you can find some other frog stories by Max Veldhuis. And maybe you could even find out how you're supposed to say that name as well. Now, what did I love in that book? Well, first of all, I loved that Frog enjoyed the rain. Sometimes it's really good to try and find pleasure in things that aren't always lovely. So, like being in lockdown, it can be really, but if you try and be positive about it and think, I get to spend more time with my family, how lovely. So Frog enjoyed that. And I loved that when he got worried about something, he went over to a friend's house and he shared his worry with a friend, because that always helps if you share a worry with somebody else, because they then can help you think about that thing in a different way. And because Duck was worried, they both went over to another friend's house. And they ended up helping that friend as well. So it's really nice that they're thinking about each other and they're trying to help each other. And then when Pig was really sad, you see that? They made sure that they helped Pig to cope with his sadness. They found a solution and they all went over to Hare's house. And Hare, what a lovely person! Or what a lovely animal. What did he do? Yeah, he looked after all of them. He shared what he had. He was willing to share. He was willing to have them in his home. That's really lovely as well. Not keeping everything for himself. Sharing is a really lovely way to show people you care about them. And then when there was a problem, when things had run out, Frog thought of a solution. He tried to think of a way to make the situation better for everybody. And even though it was going to be hard for him to do this, he knew he could swim. He knew he was the best swimmer. And so he had a go. He had a try. And he wouldn't have succeeded, would he? He actually wasn't strong enough. The current was too strong. But there was somebody there to help him. And what was lovely was right at the end. Oh, and again, Rat, what a lovely animal. Rat made sure that he was willing to share all the things he had as well. And then what was lovely is when he got to the end again, when everybody said to Rat, "Well done, you saved us," isn't that lovely that Rat knew that actually Frog is the one who had tried really hard and had used the most energy to do something, and so he gave the credit to Frog. He said, no, don't thank me, thank Frog, because he's the one who brought me to you. Okay, and that's really lovely. Rat could have taken all the credit and said, yes, I am pretty special, thank you. But he didn't. He said, no, Frog is the one actually who's done most of the work. He's the one who has enabled this to happen, really. And that's really lovely when you can see the good that other people have done and you celebrate for them instead of wanting everyone to praise you. So that's a lovely lesson to learn as well. And we do that at Whitehall, don't we? We celebrate the good things that other people have done and we feel happy for them. And that's very good for our well-being. It's good to be able to find joy in what other people do and not just in what you do yourself. And then right at the end, they all work together. That's a horrible job, cleaning. Do you have to clean at home? Yeah. Well, when you all do it together as a family, it makes it much easier and it makes it faster and it makes it fun because you can enjoy each other's company. Okay? So next time somebody asks you to help at home, say, yeah, I'll do it. And go and make it a fun thing to do so you can help everyone get the job done. That's great. Hope you enjoyed. Story. Take care, everybody. Bye.